Under the gloomy sky of Ravenswood Castle, the most important day in Lady Isolda's life was approaching. As the eldest daughter of a prestigious noble family, Isolda was admired by all, seen as the embodiment of beauty and perfection. Meanwhile, Alara, the youngest sister, talented and sensitive, lived in the shadow of indifference and contempt from her own family. Forced by her mother to attend the wedding as the pianist, Alara had to wear a plain dress and sit tucked away in the corner, becoming part of the background to her sister's moment of glory. But deep within her, the pain of being overlooked and the burning desire to be recognized smoldered intensely. The wedding night was not only a grand family event for the Ravenswoods, it was also the night Alara chose to bravely break her silence, asserting her own worth through her music, a voice both genuine and powerful, born from a wounded heart. This is a story of oppression, defiance, and the triumph of a small girl against the harsh weight of family expectations. In the grand and ancient Ravenswood Castle, beneath the glittering glow of crystal chandeliers, the air seemed thick with secrets yet to be revealed. The wedding day of Lady Isolda, the eldest daughter of the Ravenswood family, was drawing near, an event meticulously prepared, the most lavish celebration of the year, capturing the attention of the entire noble society of the Midlands. Laughter, lively music, and the sweet scent of roses blended with the rich aroma of fine wine filled the grand halls. Everything seemed perfect, but a single step into the castle's shadowy corridors revealed a very different world. In a secluded corner of the castle, Alara, the youngest daughter of the family, sat quietly beside an old piano. No one paid her any attention. Her presence on this important day was merely a backdrop to her sister's brilliance, celebrated and admired as the epitome of perfection and elegance. Isolda was the pride of their parents, the shining star in the Ravenswood family portrait. In contrast, Alara was met with indifference and scorn, even from her own relatives, especially her mother. From a young age, Alara had felt the sting of that difference. Her mother, Lady Vivian, a powerful and ambitious woman, had always placed her hopes and pride in Isolda. Every word and gesture from Lady Vivian cut like a blade, wounding Alara in ways that couldn't be seen. No matter how hard she tried to be her best, it was never enough to earn her mother's full love. Whenever Alara dared to express her feelings, she was told to restrain herself, to accept her role in the background for the sake of the family's dignity. Alara not only suffered emotionally, but was also burdened with inequalities in education and daily life. While Isolda attended prestigious schools, learned from the finest teachers, and took part in grand social events, Alara was homeschooled and left to develop her piano skills, the one talent her mother begrudgingly acknowledged entirely on her own. Even though this ability held some value, Alara remained confined in the shadows, unseen as a person of worth. On this day, amid Isolda's extravagant wedding, Alara was forced to participate as a background pianist. Dressed in a dull gray gown, she sat tucked into a corner of the grand hall, her presence nearly invisible to the guests. The bright lights, the orchestral music, and the joyful songs of blessing for Isolde formed an invisible wall that separated Alara from the rest of the world. She felt like a silent ghost drifting through the sound of laughter. Yet inside Alara, a quiet flame was burning. Her loneliness, her wounds, and her longing to be understood and seen were growing stronger by the minute. She knew that if she didn't stand up for herself, if she didn't find the courage to express who she was, her life would remain forever in the shadows, forgotten. This wedding was not just a family celebration. It was a chance for Alara to speak her truth, to declare that she was worthy of love and respect. When the piano keys began to sing under her fingers, Alara was no longer just the girl in the corner. Every note she played carried the weight of long-held emotions, pain, disappointment, but also hope and the strength of a resilient spirit. The music softened the air in the room, guests began to pause and listen. Even Lady Vivian turned abruptly, her eyes briefly betraying confusion, a rare crack in her cold composure. But that attention brought mixed reactions. Some guests were surprised, even suspicious. How could the forgotten girl possess such talent? Others were annoyed, believing Alara had broken the established order, stealing her sister's spotlight. And Lady Isolde, with her haughty gaze, glared at her younger sister, as if determined to crush Alara's rising light. In that moment, Alara realized that earning recognition wouldn't be easy. She would have to fight, not just against others, but against the fear and doubt within herself. She couldn't remain in her sister's shadow. She had to step into the light through her own effort and her own talent. It was a difficult road, but one filled with meaning. Alara's story is a powerful testament to the small yet unyielding souls fighting to break free from oppression and the weight of inferiority within their own families. It is not only the tale of one girl in Ravenswood Castle. It echoes the experience of countless others in society, overlooked and dismissed, who quietly long and struggle to find their own light. And that wedding night marked the beginning of a new journey, a journey of awakening, of courage, and of inevitable transformation. The lively wedding night slowly drifted toward its final moments. As the lights dimmed, the noble guests departed one by one, and Ravenswood Castle returned to its natural quietude. Alara still sat beside the old piano. Her eyes were filled with sorrow, but also unwavering determination. She knew that tonight, even though she hadn't fully achieved what she longed for, she had made her first resounding mark in a world seemingly reserved for her sister. However, life in the castle was far from just splendid events and dazzling lights. From the moment Alara first set foot in Ravenswood, she sensed things beyond laughter and chandeliers. Hidden secrets, silent schemes, and whispered conversations in the dark always lingered around her. After the wedding night, Alara decided to no longer hide. She began to seek out what had always been kept from her, what she had been forbidden to ask. During her wanderings through the empty corridors, she encountered a mysterious man in a black cloak with a piercing gaze. He was Aldrich, the longtime steward of the Ravenswood family, known as the Shadow, behind every upheaval in the castle. Aldrich was not only fiercely loyal to the family, but also the keeper of many earth-shattering secrets. One day, he quietly handed Alara an old key, saying it opened the door to a secret room in the castle, a place that held stories no one dared to speak of. Alara's heart pounded. This might be the clue that would uncover her true identity, and perhaps the reason behind her mother's coldness. Without hesitation, Alara used the key to unlock a room deep in the castle's basement. Inside, she was overwhelmed by piles of old documents and handwritten letters carefully stored in dusty cabinets. Each page was like a puzzle piece, revealing past stories and secrets that the Ravenswood family had deliberately hidden. Among them, Alara found a letter written in her mother Lady Vivian's soft, melancholic handwriting, addressed to an unknown man. Its contents revealed a shocking truth: Alara was not Lady Vivian's biological daughter. She was the result of a secret affair between the Earl of Ravenswood, her father, and another woman who had died under mysterious circumstances. Lady Vivian, to protect the family's image and her own power, had concealed the truth and abandoned Alara emotionally in order to uphold a perfect family image centered around Isolde. Emotions crashed over Alara like a violent wave: anger, betrayal, and pain, yet also a sense of liberation from the years spent in her sister's shadow. She realized she wasn't merely a forgotten child. She was part of a much larger story full of schemes and manipulation. But what frightened Alara most was the risk of being discovered. If Lady Vivian learned that Alara had uncovered this secret, the consequences would be dire. Her mother had never wanted anyone but Isolde to stand at the pinnacle of prestige. That was why Alara knew she could no longer stay silent. The very next day, Elara confronted her mother directly. In the grand room where Lady Vivian usually received guests, Elara asked about the past and the truth behind the letters. Lady Vivian initially denied everything, but when Elara presented undeniable proof, her demeanor changed. She admitted the truth and claimed that the concealment was to protect the family from unnecessary scandal. Though Lady Vivian showed no remorse for how she had treated Elara, the young woman understood that her mother was also a victim of social pressures and unchecked ambition. But Elara no longer wanted to be a prized pawn in a fake family. She wanted to live as her true self, acknowledged for all that she was. From that moment on, Elara began a bold plan to change her position within Ravenswood Castle. She started forming connections with close friends both within and beyond the family, people willing to help her reclaim her dignity. Among them was Jasper, a young man of humble origins, intelligent and loyal, who had quietly protected Elara from unseen threats more than once. Life at the castle grew more tense than ever as Elara resolved to fight, not only for herself, but for truth and justice. She faced plots to undermine her, betrayals from trusted allies, and constant pressure from her mother and sister. Yet through it all, Elara found strength within an inner resilience and resolve that could not be shaken. At the same time, her relationship with Jasper slowly blossomed into deep affection. He was not only a companion, but also an emotional anchor, helping Elara stay firm on the path she had chosen. Their love was a small but warm light in the dark days ahead, a symbol of hope for a brighter future. Elara's fight also gradually changed how others saw her. Some who had once dismissed her began to reevaluate, with a few even becoming valuable allies. Others clung desperately to their power and status. What followed were intense struggles between factions within the castle, battles of wits, dramatic and complex. The greatest surprise was that Elara's origins weren't just tied to the Ravenswood family. They were also linked to another powerful clan entangled in a generations-long feud. This secret had the potential to shift the balance of power entirely, and Elara held the key to everything. Through the trials, Elara came to realize that stepping into the light required not just personal strength, but also the ability to forgive and to appreciate the value of genuine family bonds and friendships. She understood that even the most painful stories could become the fuel for growth and transformation. In the end, the confrontation between Elara and her mother was not just a battle for power. It was the release of a wounded child's soul. It was a fight between darkness and light, deception and truth, submission and courage. Elara's story does not end here. This is only the beginning of her journey to reclaim her identity, to expose hidden truths, and to transform the fate of the Ravenswood legacy. And in the deepest shadows of the ancient castle, a silent but fierce revolution is taking shape. A revolution of truth and justice, born from the resilient heart of a small girl named Elara. After months of quietly seeking the truth and preparing for the internal battle ahead, Elara realized that the road before her was anything but smooth. It was filled with harsher challenges than she had ever imagined. The fight with her mother and sister wasn't just about gaining power within the Ravenswood family. It was a psychological, intellectual, and emotional war waged by a young woman striving to escape the crushing shadows of her past. The Ravenswood Castle, long a place shrouded in secrets, had now become a stage for intense confrontations and deep-seated schemes. Lady Vivian, though aware that the truth about Elara could shake the family's reputation, remained determined to preserve her control and uphold Isolde's place. Her daughter, she had always hoped, would embody perfection and prosperity. One evening, Elara was unexpectedly summoned to Lady Vivian's private study. The atmosphere was thick with tension, and Elara sensed that her mother's intention was far more than a simple conversation. Lady Vivian proposed a deal. Elara would keep silent about her true identity in exchange for improved status and living conditions within the castle. But Ilara refused outright. She could not be bought or silenced any longer. To her, truth and freedom were far more valuable. Unwilling to accept defeat, Lady Vivian ordered Isolde to straighten out her sister. Isolde, with her arrogant and envious nature, began using every trick in the book to make Ilara's life unbearable, from cruel words to petty, spiteful actions. But Ilara had grown stronger. She no longer cowered or surrendered. Every wound only made her rise fiercer than before. During this time, Jasper, Ilara's only confidant and emotional anchor, became her most strategic ally. Not only did he help her survive the challenges within the castle, but he also reached out for support beyond its walls, connecting with influential nobles and merchants. Together, they built a growing network of supporters, forming a collective strength capable of challenging the Ravenswood stronghold. On a stormy night, as the castle lay cloaked in darkness, Ilara and Jasper stealthily unlocked the door to the hidden room that held letters and vital documents. They uncovered more evidence about the family's past, including a long-concealed will. This will revealed that Ilara was entitled to inherit the entire Ravenswood estate, and title something Lady Vivian and Isolde had never intended her to discover. With undeniable proof in hand, Ilara made the bold decision to reveal the truth during a family meeting, an event meant to discuss the future of the Ravenswood legacy. Every family member and longtime advisor was in attendance. The tense gathering became a pivotal moment for both Ilara and the family's destiny. Ilara stepped forward, her voice steady and resolute. She recounted the truth about her lineage, the years of neglect and injustice, and the secrets she had unearthed. When she presented the will, the room fell into stunned silence. Lady Vivian could offer no rebuttal. This was irrefutable legal evidence. Ilara's story was no longer a hidden secret, but an undeniable reality. However, instead of easy acceptance, the meeting erupted into heated debate. Isolde and her mother's supporters argued that Ilara did not deserve the inheritance because she was not a true daughter and had disrupted the family's structure. They even accused her of tarnishing the family's reputation within the noble community. Yet Ilara's allies, including Jasper and several others, rose to her defense. They emphasized that a person's worth lies not in bloodlines, but in courage and integrity. The debate stretched late into the night, forcing everyone to re-examine their long-held beliefs about the Ravenswood family and its traditions. Eventually, with the involvement of the court and the law, the truth was officially acknowledged. Ilara not only reclaimed her legal rights, but was also recognized as an equal member of the family. This shift was more than a personal victory. It was a symbol of justice and compassion triumphing over tradition and prejudice. More importantly, through this journey, Ilara learned how to forgive those who had hurt her, freeing herself from the pain of the past. She also discovered that true strength didn't come from titles or power, but from love, loyalty, and the unity of those who stood by her side. In the glowing light of dawn, Ravenswood Castle no longer felt like a prison to Ilara. It became a new home, one where she could live authentically and build a future grounded in truth and dignity. Her growth and triumph became a beacon of hope to many, that no matter how dark the beginning, anyone can step into the light of truth and happiness. After the significant victory at the family meeting and the official recognition by the court, Ilara thought life at Ravenswood Castle would become easier. But she quickly realized that despite the legal protection she now had, the real challenge was far from over. Power always comes hand in hand with envy, obsession, and relentless schemes that threatened her safety. Lady Vivian and Isolde didn't back down. They began crafting devious plans to topple Ilara from the position she had just earned. Not limiting their efforts to the family circle, they sought to manipulate business partners and influential nobles to isolate her and threaten her newfound authority. Malicious rumors were spread aimed at damaging Ilara's reputation and image among the aristocracy and the public. But Alara was not alone. The support from Jasper, along with the friends and allies she had carefully cultivated, only grew stronger. Those who once stayed silent now stood with her, determined to fight against the darkness closing in. Unity became Alara's sharpest weapon, forcing her enemies to rethink their moves. At the same time, Alara began developing new business ventures for the Ravenswood estate, grounded in sustainability and human values she held dear. She partnered with merchants and philanthropists, expanding her influence not just financially, but socially. These efforts not only showcased her competence, but also shaped the image of a dedicated and just leader. However, as Alara focused on her work and building a brighter future, the ghosts of her past refused to let go. A deeper secret slowly came to light. There was an underground faction within the Ravenswood nobility, former allies of Lady Vivian, who were plotting to take down the entire family. Their goal was to seize control of the estate and its power, regardless of the destruction it would bring to their kin. Alara and Jasper quickly moved to stop this conspiracy. They leveraged every resource at their disposal, from intelligence gathering to alliances with other factions, to dismantle the threat before it could strike. Through this process, Alara came to better understand the value of loyalty and trust, as well as the intricate web of political power. Meanwhile, the bond between Alara and Jasper grew deeper and stronger. They were no longer just comrades in arms, but emotional anchors for one another. Their love blossomed amid adversity, becoming a powerful source of strength that kept Alara going through even the most impossible trials. At the same time, Isolde, once Alara's greatest rival, was forced to confront truths about herself and her place in the family. She began to realize that power and perfection were not everything, and that genuine affection and forgiveness were what truly defined a person's worth. Still, she held on to some of her own ambitions, leaving the sisters' relationship complex, marked by lingering tensions, but also glimpses of reconciliation. As this chapter closes, Alara stands on the balcony of the castle, gazing up at a star-filled night sky. She knows that the fight for truth, justice, and happiness is never easy. But with courage, determination, and the strength of those who love her, she believes she can overcome anything and build a brilliant new future for her family and for herself. After the upheavals and hidden schemes within the Ravenswood family, Alara realized that true strength did not come solely from power or wealth, but from awakening the soul and the ability to inspire others. She decided not to stop at merely protecting the family estate or solidifying her position, but to do something greater, build a sustainable and united community where everyone is respected and can thrive. Together with Jasper and trusted allies, Alara launched a wide range of social activities to help the poor people in Ravenswood and neighboring areas. She organized vocational training programs, supported education for children, and created opportunities for women in difficult circumstances to learn and develop skills for independence. Alara's goal was not just to provide temporary food and clothing, but to help them stand on their own feet. This journey was far from easy. Alara and her team constantly faced opposition from old powers still holding authority and from those exploiting poverty for manipulation. Some nobles in Ravenswood were unhappy that their traditional power was being challenged. Even some of Alara's old friends hesitated or turned away as she changed direction. But she never gave up. Her steadfast spirit and belief in the value of kindness helped her overcome every hardship. Along the way, Alara realized she needed to extend her reach beyond family or the Ravenswood lands to neighboring communities, those she had once overlooked or never connected with. She reached out to charities, local leaders, and even former rivals to cooperate and build joint projects for the overall development of the region. The bond between Alara and Jasper grew deeper and stronger. They were not only partners in their work, but also invaluable sources of emotional support for each other. Their love was tested during the toughest times, but those challenges made them understand and cherish each moment together more. Their love became a guiding light, leading Elara through dark days. Meanwhile, Isolde, despite past conflicts, began to change positively. After facing trials and experiences, she realized that pride and power could not replace sincere affection and forgiveness. She started rebuilding her relationship with Elara, gradually dissolving hatred and contributing to the social initiatives Elara launched. This reconciliation eased the family atmosphere and helped the two sisters understand that no matter their differences, they could be allies and support for each other. The story reached its climax one stormy night when an attack by hostile factions on Ravenswood Castle forced Elara and her allies to coordinate closely to protect their family and community. This fierce battle was not just a physical confrontation, but a fight of will and perseverance. Elara, Jasper, Isolde, and their close ones had to use all their skills and wisdom to overcome the danger. After the battle, many things changed profoundly. Elara was not only the legally recognized heir, but also a symbol of unity, courage, and hope. She became a model leader not only for the Ravenswood family, but also an inspiration for the wider region. Their community-building efforts and cooperation between factions helped Ravenswood prosper and become more peaceful. The conclusion of the story leaves the audience with a sense of optimism and faith in the power of compassion, resilience, and a never-give-up spirit. Elara is a living example that no matter how difficult one's origins are, people can decide their own destiny through action and a sincere heart. The story of Elara and the Ravenswood family is not just a journey of fighting for rights and honor, but a lesson about the power of unity, forgiveness, and an indomitable will in the face of adversity. Every step Elara took vividly portrayed her growth in character and courage, from a wounded girl to an inspiring and humane leader. In this ever-changing world, any of us can face tough challenges. But what matters most is how we confront and overcome them, with courage, intelligence, and love. Elara stands as a shining example, reminding us that light always exists at the end of the path, even when darkness looms. Thank you all for joining me on this inspiring story. I hope Elara's journey has given you much reflection and motivation to always believe in yourself. Don't forget to follow to catch more exciting stories ahead. See you in upcoming videos where we will explore new, meaningful, and inspiring tales together. Wishing you a day full of energy and joy.